Hi, Achim here from InnerSpace Explorers. Today is a bit of a spontaneous video. We just got back from the dive boat and there was somebody on the boat that had plenty of hose protectors on all hoses, on all of his gear, and he asked me like, where's your hose protectors? I was like, hose protectors? And so we had a little bit of a chat and I explained a little bit, blah, 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 and I thought it's a great topic for a video. And so I just grabbed the regulator that was laying around there in the dive center as an example, and then have one of mine. And so yeah, let's talk about it. So hose protector, just so we are completely on the same page, it's these things here that you have on the hoses at the end. And this person also had one on the other side, so here and everywhere. So it's true, I don't use any and I don't recommend it. And so why do you have these? So basically the idea is that they protect the hose from a very sharp bend. So when you look at this point, that's the most vulnerable part of the hose. And what you don't want is something like that. So this regulator is going into service. It has a couple of issues and it gets new hoses, so that's why I can do this. So you can see that. That's the worst thing you can do to a hose. And obviously if you have this on your configuration for some reason, that can create an issue and it starts to leak here and it can bulge a little bit and then probably blows off here. So the hose protector is actually, as you can see here, is protecting it from getting this sharp bend. So the problem is that if you have this, the hose protector is kind of helping with this issue, but it's not solving the problem. So the problem then is that your configuration is somehow off, right? So I don't want to go into hose configuration now and how to set up doubles and singles and whatever. So there's videos on this channel explaining that. So I'll put a couple of links in the description. But if your first stage and your second stage and all your hoses is configured in a correct way, so to speak, and I'm not saying that the way I'm doing is the only correct way of doing it, but if you watch my configurations, there's no sharp bends on any hoses, so I don't need any hose protectors. The other issue I have with these things is that you cannot see a potential problem coming up. So as I said, the most vulnerable part on the hose is here, and that's normally where these hoses start to leak. And sometimes they create kind of a bubble when they delaminate, or the O-ring starts to leak, and there's tiny bubbles coming out here. So when I look at this thing in the water, I see these bubbles coming out. If the hose protector's on top of that, I may not see it. So there might be a problem hidden underneath there, and I realize it when it's too late. So meaning I get a severe leak. The other thing is that when I'm rinsing the regulator, the hose protector keeps a lot of dirt and sand and algae and God knows what on this part of the hose, which leads to corrosion, oxidation. You can actually see the hose, the color difference here. I mean, that's obviously a little bit of UV light that made the other part of the hose a little bit lighter, but you see the discoloration here, so that's definitely dirt and whatever was underneath this hose protector, and it always is a little bit damp underneath there. Same goes for the boot of the SPG. So if there's anything on that SPG that needs to be protected, it's the glass. So if I turn this around, I can't read the SPG, so that doesn't make any sense at all. The rest of that SPG doesn't need protection. It's the other way around. I mean, when you turn the SPG, right, there's this little swivel in here, and that's normally where they start to leak, and then they suck in water, and you suddenly have an aquarium instead of an SPG. So I want to see that. I want to see these tiny bubbles coming out, and then I can take it apart, clean it, and there's this little swivel in there with these two tiny O-rings, and you can change these O-rings, put a bit of grease on them, and everything's fine again. And the only thing these boots do is they prevent you from seeing this problem, which means you realize it when it's too late, which is great for the manufacturer because he's selling you a new SPG, and they keep all this dirt in there. I don't know if you see that on the camera of the phone, but you see the metal behind there, it's all green and shit. And then also, this thing is really hard on, but yeah, probably you can see that in there. There's all kind of sand and dirt and stuff in there, which yeah, I mean, that's obviously not good for the SPG, right? So there's a lot of oxidation and corrosion going on there because of this boot. So if you, and this regulator was in service for in use for 1 year. So this is one of my regulators, which gets an annual service every 10 years or so. And when you look at the first stage, I mean, literally speaking, I mean, you can tear me apart in the comments for that, but that thing hasn't been serviced in a long time and it's in regular use. And there's nothing dramatic going on, especially here. Everything's look good. There's no oxidation, no corrosion, no dirt, no nothing. And especially when you look at the SPG, I mean, this is in use for at least 8 years or so. And that looks beautiful, right? Because I just rinse it with fresh water after every dive. I can see that swivel. I have access to everything. Everything looks good. And way better than the other thing. So for me, that makes absolute sense. Let me know if it makes sense for you. I think it was a good topic to talk about. Let me know in the comments if you have another opinion or if you have a better solution for it. And if you like my content, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, stay safe and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.